about a couple of cases I can talk about that were really interesting. Well, one, some of these cases, when you're a private investigator, they're insane. So, guy comes into the office. He was a pharmacist, and he said he was in he had a predicament. He was in a big problem. And okay, what's up? He goes, well, I occasionally go to strip clubs, and he went to the strip club, and there's a stripper he happens to like, and he basically says, I get to know her, and after a couple of months spending quite a bit of money there, he gets jammed up. We said, well, how do you get jammed up? And he goes, well, when you go back in the private dances, there's not a camera in the back room, and she asked and basically made a deal. She said, gave him a proposition: if you give me this much, we can get extra 30 minutes. Not going into too much detail about the case, but 30 minutes, and she propositioned me, and I took it. But then I came back another time, and there was a guy there near her, and I mentioned it, and then the guy walked away, and apparently it was a big client. It was one of her number one client, and yes, she told the guy that he was the only one. And now that the guy, our client came and mentioned it to her, the guy that she had told that he was the only one found out she was lying, and I guess he cut it off. Now the guy claims to us, the client claims that the other guy must have spent thousands of dollars on this girl. So she complains and says that he told her about his life. She called and got his pharmacy license on hold from the state. And so now, he can't do anything. So that's why he comes to us. Can you please help? Please help. So, okay. So we come up with a game plan. The game plan is to go in and basically try to get her to proposition us. For a couple of different investigators. So, what guy wouldn't love this type of case? You need to go basically undercover to a strip club, spend money, and see that. So, me personally, I go a couple of times, and look at her, the singles and stuff like that. I don't know. She probably knew something was up with me. She probably read me pretty well. Strippers are pretty good. They can read people really well. She probably, I don't know. She just knew something wasn't right with me. I don't normally frequent, strip clubs or gentleman clubs, whatever you want to call them, go-go bars. That's not something I really had done a lot in the past. Well, we were instructed. Look, now, get her to proposition you. Get it on camera. Okay, I recorded. All right. Well, didn't work for me. So it was wasting too much money, me going, and nothing happening. So I get shipped off to another case. The other investigator goes, and all of a sudden, later that evening, we get a phone call. I got it. What do you got? Man? What do you got? It worked. Oh, it did. She propositioned me. Yeah. Okay, great. You have the video, right? Yeah. So he comes in, we're sitting there, the big boss, and I are sitting there, and he shows it, and we start watching it, and we're like, it was long. Okay, and all of a sudden they get to the private room, and you hear her say, okay, well, if you give me $450, I can knock and another 30 minutes. Why? He goes, why 450? I had another 150 has to go to the the kickback to the club, whatever it was. And we're like, great. And then I look at it, and it's the video. That's what we wanted. But the video, it looks like underneath when you play a video that it says the length. Why the hell is there so 20 more minutes? And he's like, yes. And I look at it, and I'm like, well, what's the rest? Oh, I got it all on camera. I said, what? I got it all on camera. Man, I said, oh, you got it all on camera? Yeah, I got it all. I did a great job. I said, oh my God. And the big boss man puts a hand on his head, And he goes, you followed through with the sex act? He goes, yeah, I mean, we need it on camera. Right there. Case done. Hey, needless to say, he really didn't work much longer for the agency. You can't, there's certain things you just can't do to help the client. Long story, I mean, a lot of times when you're a private investigator, one of the worst part about the jobs is that you could put so much effort, time, hours and hours in, and then you get the evidence that you're looking for, and you never hear anything else about it. The client doesn't always come back and tell you the end result. So there's a lot of, I mean, it's a lot of time, it's like, oh man, you do all this work and you just never find out the end result. Now, some of them you do. Some of them you do find the end result. But there's a lot of them there's a lot of them I did that I just, what was the end result? I mean, you really can't, it's not professional. Once you've done your job, you provided them with the reports, the documentation, depending on the case, videos, photos, and everything is over, to then 8 months later, hey man, how's it going? Pretty good. Give me an update with your stuff. No. A lot of these people that hire us, or used to hire us, are very, very wealthy or big companies. They're not people that like, hey man, like how's it going? How's life? It's a business machine. And I mean, some of these, they call them retainers. Like a lawyer, you give them a retainer. That's the way you reference payments in private investigators is, how much is the retainer? What's going to cost for this, and that? Every investigating agency, every investigator, prices are different per hour, per, videos, photos, all that's different. And I mean, every case is different, and you really never have two cases that are the same. They're never the same. I mean, they may seem similar, but there's always something different about them. I mean, you put it this way, you never get complacent or just expect something to happen, because I've been there, done that, and it doesn't work that way. Oh, we have another child custody case. It's going to be the same. Wrong. Another alimony case. It's going to be the same. Wrong. Another overnight surveillance. It's going to be the same. Wrong. I mean, they're never the same. And I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun when you're a private investigator. You just have a lot of, I mean, it's good. It's good experience. It really is. I enjoyed it, but hey, law enforcement was my true dream. I have that. But I mean, the lessons I learned being a private investigator, I mean, just the techniques and the surveillance, a lot of the stuff I did as a private investigator, you learn to do when you become a detective or an investigator for law enforcement. I mean, surveillance, following vehicles, that's another good one. But basically, the Pharmacist case, I mean, that was just, it's a crazy one. I mean, I have more. I'll make more. Honestly, right now, what I'll probably do is I'll bang a couple different stories out, separate videos, and just upload them. But I mean, the Pharmacist one, that was a unique case in itself. But hey, it's this experience, learning experience.